charisma.
Hello,
Ridiculous.
everyone. Welcome back. It's our first session back. And I am happy as fucking hell. So, we've got Viamir, Law, Awen, Sazia, Fixer, and Sincere is a little under the weather, so she won't be joining us tonight. But we are in good hands. We've got a full crew, almost. But we've got a full crew of awesomeness, because we're all here, most of us. I keep saying it, and it's like, yeah, I'm just excited. I'm excited, because, you know, we're playing again. And I really, 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 really do love this fucking game. This game makes me smile a lot. We got a great crew. So, that being the case, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to the very first session back to our regularly scheduled programming here on Damaged Dice. So, as we get rolling with the punches, we're just going to dive right in. As when last we came together, you guys had been working on getting your ship set and ready for sail. And it didn't take too long either. You guys got yourselves together pretty damn quick. And thankfully now, having been on the skies for a couple days, trailing behind a small goblin junker, you found yourselves, when we ended, looking over a battlefield with sandbags, trenches, and corpses lying the ground of Dragonborn and Orc. From the sky, it made it a little bit harder to see any defining marks of these two armies that had assaulted the crash site of the Phoenix. But here you sit now, alive, well, in good standing as you come down to land and investigate the small, stumpy barricade that had been built around what was Captain Taggard's command tent when last you left, having been gone for about 5 days. Seems a lot has happened. So, the ship lands, docking ramp lowered. As you guys step out, you get the smell of gunpowder, burnt flesh, dirt, blood, and a sting of something putrid. Sazia and Fixer, go ahead and make intelligence checks for me as you smell this final piece.
That'll be a 23.
Ooh, nice.
That'll be a 13.
Okay.
I know things.
Fixer, as you give a look and just kind of, it's a very familiar smell to you. That is acid burning somewhere in this field. It's strong, and it's almost as if a pool of it is somewhere nearby. Maybe about, for this strength, for it to be permeating this much, maybe about 5 gallons worth of acid.
Guys, we're gonna want to watch our step. There is some pretty intense acid somewhere nearby, and I would not recommend walking into it.
Do we know of any acid that was on the ship? Like any reason that Taggart's group would have been carrying any? Or
Go ahead and make a history check. I'll give you advantage because you've been on the ship.
Loyal crew member and all.
18.
18. Taggart would keep acids on the boat for harder to pick locks. It's an easier way to drip acid on a lock, have it be broken permanently, and the acids he uses are designed to make the metals brittle. They would make a good dissolvent for any humanoid bodies. But not 5 gallons worth. Definitely not that much.
Okay.
Right, there's a lot of it.
Well, yeah, I don't think Taggart would have had that much just lying around for any reason. So
We see the orc corpses, right?
You see from where the tent is past some fresh corpses of the survivors, those who once survived. You see past them, you see the bodies of the orcs and the dragonborn who have fallen and died in multiple different fashions. But the ones who look the closest seem to have been just perforated.
Well, at least they fought well before they died. We need to go look for the survivors.
They didn't leave any for me.
I'm sure they'll be back.
Are you guys stepping off the ramp?
I want to look at my radar bleepy thing. What's the goblin ship doing?
The goblin ship is circling, and as it circles, it goes around maybe 3 times before it settles on the opposite side of the Phoenix, and it just kind of bloop stays in position. Engines are still hot, so it's still being picked up on radar, but they've definitely landed.
How far away are Taggart and crew?
Their tent is maybe about 50 feet away from you guys, from where the hand has landed.
yeah, do we all want to be going, or do we want to keep a couple people on ship?
Maybe you
Well-
should at least have the changeling, the little changelings down the ship.
Can
Make sure everything's alright.
Can you fly it back up so it's not like easy for them to get in it again?
Exactly. Something like that.
Do I have to?
Yeah, it's probably a good idea. You should probably drop us off and then, lift it off the ground. We don't want to be surprised by anything and have anything board our ship too.
And keep an eye on the goblins. They're not trustworthy.
And clip the only wings that we have out of this place.
Just to throw out another option, what if most of us stay here, Awen goes, grabs Taggart, and brings him back here?
So you want to get Awen killed too, so we don't have to listen to him.
You guys are a great bunch here. I mean, can your bird go and look around and at least maybe fly over to the tent, see if
His
Taggart
name
the
is
group's in there?
Hawk is
Little
currently
respect, please.
flying in that direction.
Okay, sending Hawk off the ship.
And I'm going blind and deaf and watching what he's watching.
Okay. Looking through Hawk's eyes, unless he's making a perception check, gets an overview of the field of battle. Same thing you saw as when you came in, and the goblins have already disembarked and are already working on cutting through the opposite side of the ship with what looks like some power tools, as they're now grinding holes and just pretty much just cutting a small square into the ship.
Do we see any of the goblins
Nope,
going
they are-
and stuff?
They're on the other
Just know
side
that
of
they're
the
docked on the other side.
the crashed Phoenix.
So before Captain Taggart finds out that there's another goblin ship on the other side, shouldn't we just have him come on board?
Yeah,
Safe that way.
I just thought we'd send Hawk to make sure he was, actually in the tent and wasn't off somewhere else.
Hawk is going to check that.
Okay. As you send Hawk, the rest of you hear out from the metal, "If you're here to scavenge, I highly suggest you prep your body bags, because you won't be killing us all."
Is it a voice we recognize?
Is that Taggart?
You recognize Taggart's voice as he shouts out from behind his cover that he has. And as he says this, you see through the slits in the cover, you see barrels poke out just slightly.
You're
Hawk,
talking,
fly up.
You're talking
Eowyn.
the cover around the
around
tent
the
area.
tent. Yep.
Does our ship have any sort of speaker system outside of the ship?
Yeah, Captain. It does. If you'd like to, it's gonna be the button right next to the blue one.
Oh, great! And
You're both
Eowyn's-
captains now. You just call him Taggart. Assert your dominance. Be a man. Do it.
he's gonna
You're equals
Eowyn's
now.
gonna push the button and be like, Captain Taggart,
Lucy.
this is Captain Eowyn. We brought a ship to bring you guys back.
Trusting a captain, even if you're on the same level,
You hear out
it's nice.
coming from behind, and it should be very difficult for you guys to hear a voice bellowing from outside into the bridge of the hand, but Taggart's voice echoes with such a force of nature and a confidence of person that it seems to just force the metal to let his voice through, as if he's shouting at you through paper. "Who in the fucking hell made you captain? I know as shit it wasn't me."
And we don't see anything else around. I mean, as far as enemies that we're.
No one's come in. Hawk hasn't seen anything, unless you want to make a perception check for Hawk.
See how he talks with such confidence? It's like he's standing right here. You should learn that trick.
I mean, do we want to just
19.
go out and get them, bring them in? Can we shuffle them over from their tent to get them on board?
I mean, that's why we're here, right?
Captain, you're supposed to make this decision, but yes, we should definitely do that.
I mean, it's smart that he's deferring to our judgment instead of his own. That makes sense.
Yeah, that is true.
And
Defer the work.
I would
Defer the
say
work.
invite him aboard.
and he's just gonna get on the speaker system again and be like, Captain Taggart, if you can lower your wall and get to our ship, we can take you back to the Queen and the other captains.
You have to say permission granted to board your vessel.
This is some highly interesting information that you have, Vimir. I thought you never even been on these types of ships.
Right, when did you learn all of this?
My time in the Wood Elf Marine Corps.
Did they also float
Technically
across the ocean in
part of the
barrels?
Navy. Technically part of the Navy.
Well, looks like I have to add new lore.
This guy attacked a car because he thought it was a creature, but he knows all about air travel and ranks and
Proper etiquette.
air and sea travel.
I mean, in every book I've read, that captain always asks permission to come aboard someone else's ship. It really is just polite.
A captain shouts out from behind cover, and what cover are you going to be providing me? God forbid we come under attack. As you can see here, there is a battlefield.
Don't we have some machine guns in the side of our ship?
Yeah, we got it. We don't really know how to work them, but yeah, we've got them.
No, I thought we knew how to work the machine guns. We didn't know how to work the cannons.
Oh,
Did I
not
see
the
what
cannons.
button he pressed to talk to Captain Taggart?
Make a what's your passive perception?
14.
I'd say yeah.
I'm gonna run over and press the button.
Beep.
You can just stay there then. We'll leave. Just let us know that you're good. We came here to get you, but if you don't want to come, that's entirely up to you, being a super cool captain and stuff. What was that thing I was supposed to say? Vimir out. Hey, so do I have to hold the button, or do I just keep pressing it? I don't know what's happening.
I think you could let go of it, yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna let go of the button now.
Lycirus
Hey,
starts
Vimir,
laughing. She doubles over in the pilot's seat and just holding her sides.
Hey, Vimir, if you press it harder, it makes you louder.
Why didn't you lead with that?
I think he's lying to you.
Bring the ship down. We should bring the ship down and just pick up Captain Taggart.
It didn't sound like he wanted to come.
It doesn't matter. Our goal is for Taggart to come back. It's not just for him, it's for the reward as well.
Oh,
I would say let's lower the ramps, have a couple of us on the machine guns, and then I'll continue to have Hawk patrol and make sure we know if anything comes at us. That way we can cover them and they can come on board.
I call the ramp.
Okay. So, if that is the plan, everyone okay with that?
Yep.
Alrighty. As you all head down, the firing bay on the port side as you come to land is level with the ground. And as it opens, machine guns are able to flip down and take aim at the open space. You have a good bit of cover, and taking that secondary breath of air, it's sharper now. That scent of acid kind of lingers deeper into your nostrils. There's a pause, and the wall facing you pulls down. You see there are 16 individuals hiding inside of this cover that slowly begin to make their way outward. Keeping a firing pattern and making sure that they have both flanks covered, you see a half-elf and a human. The half-elf with black and silver hair, the human with blondish red hair. Both make out first, separating and keeping eyes as they move their way towards the machine guns, followed by a dwarf with a heavy-looking cannon that he has to hold by like a strange, by a very odd carry stance. It's almost too large for his form. He has a deep
one of those for Vimir.
He has a deep-set brown beard filled with beads, and as well as some very intricate braidings. After him comes a tiefling, this tiger-striped tiefling of this beigeish orange and deep-set burnt orange and white and black stripings and just jet black hair for a head, and comes out with a very long-scoped rifle, keeping his eyes as he goes. Next, a female Goliath, hulking. You see she carries underneath her arm a large cylindrical tube. And on her back are a sling of rockets, just setting right up around her back.
Probably one of those instead.
After that, you see a human with burnt orange hair, a few sets of, not a few sets, actually a full heavy set of leather, coat, gloves. Despite the warmth, starts making her way out, her mask kind of hanging off to the side, her head, or her cowl that would be around her head pulled down. She's beautiful, but heavily poxmarked along the cheeks. Sazia, she kind of glances around, and as she does, she kind of looks, catches eyes with you, and you see she just kind of shifts these bandoliers of vials that she has along her chest as she continues making her way forward. After her, another female Goliath makes her way out, also carrying one of those large rocket pods. Then 2 goblins, a male and a female, come out, dual-wielding pistols and just kind of looking a little scraggly, but they have keen eyes about them. Much like most goblinoids, they look very human, but their green skin and kind of sharper teeth and bright yellow eyes set them apart. You notice one being male, one female, and they both kind of crisscross and serpentine between each other as they cover whatever maybe the other missed as they move along. 4 individuals then emerge out, just with small submachine guns. Humans with brown and black hair, varying from one being extremely heavy set to one almost looking emaciated and very gaunt. The last 2 that make their way out, you see, is a hobgoblin male with very defined features, almost what would be considered like a heroic face. His deep crimson red skin set along with very few extra cartilage bone protrusions from his chin and his eyebrows. His hair pulled back into a kind of almost colonial-like ponytail. You see he is a bit of a limp, his leg is bandaged, and he just holds a heavy pistol close to his chest. And followed behind him is Sig, still missing an arm, but now where was the eye that had been popped and cut out due to the crash is now a slightly flaming globe, where the mechanical eye that Sazia gave him is. It's no longer mechanical, it now looks like a small ball of golden fire. Finally, behind them comes Captain Taggart. A little soot-worn, bit of his beard burnt up slightly. Shuffles his way out very slowly and keeps his eyes out into the entirety. Moves his way with purpose and pride, keeping his large bore rifle lowered but at the ready still. They all board your ship. Taggart just looks, and before he gets on, he notices the hand symbol. Steps on, and you all know where the crew quarters are. Go get some rest. And bring Sig to the medical wing and set him there. Now, you all, thank you for the pickup. We should get moving. The dead don't stay dead for long.
Yeah, you need to talk to the captain about our moving arrangements.
I'm very excited to talk to the captain, Viamir. Very excited.
Just thought
It's
I'd
good to
throw
see
that
you
out there.
again, Captain Taggart.
It's very good to see you all again. I'm impressed. 5 days. If you were any longer, we would be dead. This would be a very different conversation.
I can only speak to my spirit ancestors, not yours, so there wouldn't have been a conversation. You would have just been dead.
That would be a conversation for Awen as well. So if you would get on the bridge, I actually have something I want to do. I'm just going to get off of the machine gun that I was sitting on and go and find the particular woman with all the vials
Okay.
that was carrying.
As you do, are you guys closing the machine gun ports?
Yeah.
Okay. As you do, the two large slabs of metal that drop down and opened into this wide expanse begin to slide their way back up, and as they do, they very gently push the machine guns back up right without you having to do any work. The windows, the doors seal shut. You hear it as they lock in place.
Right before I leave, I'm gonna turn to Captain Taggart and be like, by the way, any of the survivors know how to part of the gunnery team from the Phoenix?
Sid, Nona, nah and no. Operate the forward gun. It should be the only one that aims properly. They look and you see the dwarf just sets his large gun down, straps it into the side where the gunnery area is, where the port guns here are, and very well, Captain. I'll get to it. Looks at them all. Come on! Don't be slow. And they make their way off. Take care of the forward gun. So you will have one working cannon. So if you guys get into a scrap, whoever would like to helm the direction and the targeting for the gunnery team, you will be adding a +8 to a d20 roll. And if you make contact with an enemy ship, you'll be rolling 3d12 plus 4. The hit, and it will be fire damage when it makes contact.
Question
Away.
With my jack of all trades, would I also add half my proficiency bonus to that?
No, these are set rolls for the guns.
Cool.
And for the team that you hired, so they all together make their set in for the 8. All right. You watch as the two goblins follow the dwarf, and one of the Goliath females also follow the dwarf. So I'll make their way off. Sazia, go ahead and make a perception check to see if you can find where she has gone.
It's not a big ship, so hopefully it'll be a good one. That is 12.
12. Let's see. How stealthy is this lady? Stealthy enough to slip past you without notice.
She's in my room, clearly.
She has disappeared. Are you going to search the ship?
Yeah.
Okay. Taking a few minutes to search the ship. We'll come right back to that, and we'll advance time as we go. The rest of you, are you all heading up back to the bridge?
I'm going back to my radar station because it's super important, and I don't trust anyone else to do this job.
Perfect.
Fair enough. Fair enough. If that's the case, then everyone else heading back to the bridge?
Before we go up there, Captain, did any of the engineering crew survive?
Yeah. Sid did, but now he's manning a gun.
Fair enough.
If you want to talk to him, you can talk to him when he's not manning a gun.
Definitely, I do plan to do that.
Good. Good. You'll learn a good bit. You'll definitely learn a good bit.
Excellent.
Like not to get drunk while fixing the ship.
You can't tell me how to fix the ship!
It's probably a good idea.
Fix my life.
There actually should still be a still in the engine room. Put some fresh rice in there. And a little bit of sugar.
Wait, was this your ship at one point?
About 4 teaspoons. You'll be good. You'll have plenty of homemade gin. No, it wasn't my ship, but I was on it.
Were you a deckhand? Is this where you got your start? Tell me your whole life story. I'm just kidding. I don't actually care. And I walk off.
He follows you, and as he does, he's just going to berate you with a story as you guys walk up to the bridge. It's a pretty short walk. He goes, well, Viamir, it all started when I was a boy, you see. I knew the world had greater things, like you and your keys.
I'm just adjusting the little, like, animal heads, like, I'm working here.
No. This is as you guys are walking up to the bridge. He follows you, telling you this story. And as you get up to the bridge, Awen, you hear, and so finally I found myself graduating college, where I came out with a academy scholarship and my own ship and a crew. And so, I guess I'll have to continue this story over dinner.
Captain Taggart, hey, how are you doing? I've seen better. Welcome to the hand.
I think he likes Captain Taggart, if you know what I mean.
He looks at you, Awen, strokes his beard, and notices that there is a patch missing, and Awen. I'm proud of you. You have your own ship. It's a good ship, but she definitely needs work. You have a start of a crew.
Yes, we do, and we're learning all the fine tuning and things here on the bridge, and we've got the girl here with us who's been teaching everything and showing us where stuff is and what buttons to push. And
that's good. So, are you still following my flag, or did you sign on with a different captain?
No, Captain, we've still been flying under your flag, and they just, the group back there, the other captains, they kind of arranged for us to get this ship to go pick you up and bring you back, and
good.
I think most of them like us. Yeah. Oh, that's great.
I don't think any of them like us.
He walks up and pats you on the arm. It's good to see you, boy.
It's glad to see you're alive, Captain. It looked like you had your hands full out there. A lot of the orcs and the dragonborn, and there's a lot less of you than before.
I'd highly suggest you tell your pilot to get us in the air. They'll come back in about an hour.
Oh, yeah, of course. And he's just gonna kind of shout and look around for Lysiris. And
she hasn't moved. She's still sitting.
Yeah, Lysiris, do you want to just go ahead and get us up in the air and get us back? And
aye, Captain. And she spins her chair around and starts getting the ship ready to take off.
So yeah, I guess where did these guys come from? I mean, we left and there's like 50 of you guys, and there's not that many anymore.
They came from the southwest.
They're just looking for trouble, and trouble's what they found, hey, Captain?
They were already dead when they showed up.
Oh. So, kind of like are they similar to the ones that we encountered on your ship before it crashed, or?
Yes. And this is where a problem sets in for all of us. Somewhere southwest of here is that ship. You all have a myriad of options. I really shouldn't say a myriad. It's more like 3.
Attack the ship now. Attack the ship later.
You could
Attack the ship now.
go, find the ship, take it out, and prevent a base of the Ivory King from sprouting up in the area and causing more trouble. Put your name to it, send an alert out to any allied and friendly ship in the area, being pirates or one of the country's vessels. Their military tends to always be flying around somewhere. Make friends, gain a reputation if you succeed. Let them know your deed, let them know your location so they can come and see it for themselves. It's option 1. Who knows? You might get benefits out of it. Bounties removed from your heads. Maybe even people stop trying to kill you for a time. You could choose to say, fuck it. And we all head home back to Corsair. And along comes another group. We call them heroes. They come along, do the dirty work for you. You get no credit, you get no fame, you get no favors, but they do. And they'll do it again. They'll do it again. And they'll do it again. Every time you turn down an opportunity, there they'll be. Or my personal detested option. You head to Corsair, get reinforcements, and share the glory with other captains who see it as an opportunity to prevent any favors from being owed to you, but will happily work with you another time.
Awen's just gonna kind of look to. Did Fixer come up to the bridge?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so he's gonna look to Vimir, Fixer, and Law. Also there. So he's gonna look to the group here that did come up to the bridge.
Sin is still on the bridge. She hasn't moved.
Okay. So he'll just kind of look to everyone from our party that's up there and just be like, this should certainly be a group decision. I know that we've had our encounter with some of the captains back at Corsair, and like you guys said, not many of them seem to like us. But I don't know which is better in our position, for us to try to defeat these things alone, or try, like Taggart said, try to get others involved and take it on. And I don't know what you guys think. It's it's a big decision, and I know Captain Taggart said what he thought was a good idea, and we are a crew.
Okay, I got a great idea. Ready? Listen. 1, tell the goblins that this scrap is just that scrap. Tell them where there's better scrap. Let them soften the target while we amass allies, these other friendly people, the different countries, if there's any ships that we can hail. And then we go in and attack and claim all the glory for ourselves. And then, boom, Captain Taggart, you obviously owe us a favor, throwing it out there. Easy day.
Well, weren't there like 6 goblins? Or
Yeah, but they have guns, probably, and if not, what's the worst that happens? The goblins die.
Well,
oh, no.
The problem is that Taggart's crew had been attacked over and over again. When we left, there were 50 of them. Now there's 16.
None of
so
them
they've
have
been. True. But if they were defending a fortified position and were still managed to be reduced, we have 7 members of our crew, and
At this point,
the
the ship
16
takes
that are
off.
remainder. We're looking at 23 people, and because the undead are coming, we can probably assume that Crazy Bitch is still alive. So I definitely think we need to. Well, actually, Taggart, how many people are attacking at a time?
Add what's left of us. 34 of us are dead. There was maybe about 40 orc and dragonborn combined.
And they just kept coming back.
Oh, they come back to life every time.
Certain time of day.
It varies between an hour to 8 hours.
Right. And what you know about the Undead King, and who we've encountered, would you say that's pretty much the cap of what they're able to bring at a time, or?
No. She's building her power base. The more undead that she has, the more powerful she gets. So the more that die, the more she adds to her army. The base of the Ivory King can grow in power, grow from a base to a citadel, to a city in a matter of months. The undead don't have to stop working. They can keep digging. They can keep building all day, every day. And the more she
They're an affront
kills,
to nature.
you could say that. Some aren't. Some are decent. Some have their sentience. But these ones should be eradicated sooner rather than later.
All right. The other issue comes in with, as a recognized captain of the Pirate Queen's fleet, I would assume that you are a capable fighter. But when the vessel was attacked, not to say anything against your skills or anything, but the woman that we saw seemed to have the upper hand. And if she's still at full power and we're reduced from where we were at, attacking now could be foolish.
Fighting one. You would be... What are you, 6? 6 against 1. You play the odds in this game, boys and girl. Sid just kind of looks up, nods, goes back to her work. You play the odds. Come out on top. The gun's range on this is 1,200 feet.
Is their ship still down?
No idea. She could have it right side up and have one of her working guns.
Are you in fighting order?
In a day.
In that case, my suggestion personally would be a scouting mission with no intention of engaging in actual combat to basically ascertain the power of our enemy. And then when we are at full fighting strength, to attack if we are capable of winning. But that's just my thoughts. Like Awen said, we are a group, and I would love to hear everyone else's input as well.
What say you, Law?
The longer we wait, the more likely they are to recover their ship, the harder the foe is going to be. So, I think I agree with Fixer. Scout it out, let Taggart and his crew get some rest, and then strike.
Ideally, if their ship is still down, we could have the advantage of being able to actually aim our cannons at them and from a place where they cannot reach. And we could possibly do a lot of damage before having to engage.
Bold action is what is needed. Before me and Law came around, you were just a mechanic in a shop. Now you get to work on this fantastic ship.
And I am
Eowyn.
eternally grateful for that.
You were just a whatever. And now you're a captain of the ship.
Yeah,
None of this was achieved through sitting back and waiting for someone else to do the right thing. If we don't strike now, we might fail. Or worse yet, we might be forgotten. Do you think we're going to save the world and retrieve the keys, sitting back, waiting for someone else to find them? No. That's why I left the farce, to take action. I could have sat back and waited and watched you all die. But I didn't do that. And I'm not going to do it now, as these undead things multiply and make this world even worse than what it is.
yeah. Captain Taggart, I mean, it sounds like the group really wants to get in there, wants to, definitely wants to see what's ahead of us, give you guys a chance to, recover a little bit, and we'd love to share in the glory with some of those back at Corsair, but
Would you, though?
like they're saying, it would put us in good terms with some of them, at least I'd hope. But I think we gotta, I do think we gotta strike while we can, while the opportunity's in front of us.
The other problem with option 3 is that it wouldn't be sharing the glory, it would be asking for help and owing people.
It sounds like to me you've found friends in certain captains. I'm guessing Kelzata made himself a ally of yours.
I mean, he helped us acquire the ship, but I mean, there seem to be plenty that don't seem to be on our side. We had the one big guy who was kind of, I guess he was following us around while we were walking, and
Cypher.
I think we were a little worried about him.
Cypher's a fucking idiot for a Warforged. You'd expect more out of him.
I thought he was pretty cool.
He may be an idiot, but I would not want to be on the other end of a match with him.
No.
And for once I can say I agree with you on that one, Fixer.
It's interesting to find you afraid. If I am
Not afraid, just not sure of my chance of success.
I'd count that as fear.
You want to go right now? No.
I might be old, but sure. And he just kind of looks at you with a very confident smile.
All you captains. You're silly.
Nin-
What is it, Captain?
19 plus 10 for his intimidation roll.
Too
So,
dumb to be intimidated.
A 29. As he just looks at you. The rest of you feel this kind of like air, this chill that dies in the bridge for a moment. Then I'll leave it all to you to decide. But you first have to find the ship. We don't know where it is. I'll let you figure that out.
I I
Good
bet those
luck.
goblins can find it. They've got a nose for bullshit.
Good luck on the bridge. He makes his way out. No salute. Just turns, walks, makes his way down. As he does that, Sazia, in this time, searching through the ship, how long would you like to take?
Pretty much as long as I can find until I find her.
Okay, make an investigation check.
Can I have a good roll, please? Just a good, better roll. Okay, that is a better roll. 18.
18. Very nice. Okay. It takes you about 5 minutes, and you find her in the medical wing. She has removed her leathers, removed her cowl, removed her mask, and set it up on an armor stand, effectively. As she lays everything up and sets it aside, she still wears her bandoliers, and now she is cleaning the stump of Sieg.
I'm gonna approach them and be like, well, I suppose I see that the eye is working out very well, Sig?
Yeah, it is working out quite well, actually.
Good.
So
That's
I
good to
cannot
hear.
remove it. It is now part of me and my god. However, I will not be staying with you all long. I will be leaving when we get to a location that
Wow.
accounts for some type of civilized area.
You wouldn't have to tell that to me. You'd probably have to explain that to Sin. She'd probably be very, very sad about it. But it is good to see you alive.
He goes up to rub his eye. Seems like there's an itch and his fingers just poke right through the hole. And you see he rubs the fingers before he realizes... Yeah. Just kind of pulls his fingers out and just kind of wipes them on his sleeve, and that was inconvenient. But yeah, I know. But I have other things that I need to do. I have relics to return to my order before I go and find my own weapon. Something that is meant for me. Not a relic of my order, but something that's been lost.
Interesting. And then I'm going to turn to the woman. And as for you, I don't think we've met. My name is Sazia, and I did notice that you had a bandolier of quite a bit of vials, and that begs me the question, what happened to the Kenku?
She eyes you, looks you up and down. And as she does, she seems to be reading you. She really takes a long look at you. Go ahead and, depending on what you want to do, whether you want to hide your motives, or if you have nothing about your personality to hide, you can either make a deception check, or you can make a general charisma check.
I'm gonna make the deception check.
Okay.
That is a 23.
Okay. She eyes you, and a bit of her burnt orange hair kind of falls in front of her face. She doesn't move it. She just blinks a moment, and her eyes flitter from green to blue, back to orange, back to green.
That's an interesting little trick there. Is there anything on my... Are you seeing something that I'm not seeing? Is that what's going on right now?
She doesn't answer you. She just watches you, waits, continues to just stare directly at you into your eyes, not breaking eye contact. Even if you try to look away from her or look down and break the eye contact, she still stares at you, waiting for your eyes to return back to hers.
You looking for something? Is there anything I can help you with?
She looks away from the stump, rewraps it, ties it, washes her hands, looks along her bandoliers and kind of runs several fingers down and pulls a vial. She pulls the vial. It is a deep, black, brackish liquid. Inside, you see are little red specks that kind of look like fireflies that won't stop being lit. She kind of gives a little shake. It swirls and shifts colors as the two already in there seem to mix, and it goes a slight purplish to a blue to a milky gray. She uncorks it, holds it out with her other hand.
I'm gonna insight check that.
Okay.
Let's see what she's going at. If there's any like malicious intent behind it.
Okay.
That's a 14.
A 14. Versus her charisma. There is a glint of malice in her eyes, as if she's trying to see if you will drink something that might actually harm you.
You're an interesting one, staring down a yuan tea like that, and offering something that seems to be poison.
She just kind of raises her eyebrows.
I'm gonna pick up the vial and be like, so what did happen to the Kenku? And then I'll drink it.
Con save, please.
Okay. Let's see. That is 15.
That is not enough.
Oh, thank God.
Is that the first time you've missed a con save when drinking
know,
something?
right? Exactly. And my con is at a +1, so that is really, really weird.
Your luck has been really good.
Only on con saves, not on anything else.
And it's all been like when you're imbibing stuff that could potentially kill you.
Yeah, right?
Well, today's a new day. And tomorrow you'll have a new character.
That's the idea.
Damn it, I lost my drinking buddy.
You, Sazia, as you down this, it tingles and burns like most poisons when you drink them. It lingers in your throat for a moment, as if it's a whiskey. And she just kind of tilts her head, and you feel this sudden glow begin to swell inside your throat. You go to, and as you do, as you breathe out, you see a bit of light exhale on your hand. As you close your mouth, there begins to be a glow resonating out towards her face from your throat. And as you feel this glow begin to burn inside you, you feel it push its way down through your esophagus and into your chest. Where as you look down, you see this glow begin to push out of your diaphragm and just kind of resonate. Your body freezes in paralysis for a moment, and you hold. The glow begins to fade, and you feel a sudden pain in your heart for the first time. As you take 25 points of poison damage, unmitigated.
Okay.
You
That drops me.
That drops you unconscious?
Yeah, actually, exactly.
Exactly. Oh, shit. As you fall unconscious, in the last few moments of consciousness that you have, you watch as she steps over you and looks down. Well, I finally found the right recipe. I'll have you up in a moment. And she just smiles at you, a very bright, toothy grin, as you see her white teeth kind of shine. As
On my last bit of consciousness after hearing her voice, I'll be like, well, I got you to speak, at least. And I'm just gonna knock out.
Okay. About 10 minutes later, you come to consciousness, propped in a chair. Your tongue feels swollen, kind of like you've been stung by a wasp directly on your tongue. Your body's a little limp. There's a warm blanket around you and a cup of coffee steaming right next to you. Sieg is sitting there watching, a little concerned, but hasn't moved. The paralysis is worn off. You can move, but it's like being under heavy anesthesia. Your legs feel like they're just not there. You have that momentary panic as you look down, and she hasn't cut your legs off. You're still there in one piece, but you felt better. You come back with 15 HP.
Okay.
And she pats Sieg on the back and, you can go. It's alright, I'm not going to hurt him. I know what I know now. It's nice to know the recipe works. Yeah, that was... right. Good day. And he slides himself off the table and makes his way out. Leaving just you and her, Sazia, as she just kind of crosses her hands over, sits down across the table next to you, and just...
Well, haven't felt that ever before.
Good.
I can't say that it feels good, but it does feel interesting. What did you give me, exactly?
Oh, I can't tell you that. Your kind have been enough of a plague on my life, so it's nice to finally know something works.
My
Other
kind.
than acid. Yes,
Oh,
your kind.
you're one of those people.
I'm one of those people whose entire life has been ruined and whose family has been put to slavery and slaughter by Yuan Ti. But having an opportunity to test on a willing, overly confident subject has been delicious.
I did actually have a little bit of another ulterior motive for that. You see, I don't really trust this poison, this immunity to poison that us Yuan Ti have, as much as you may have. There are certain people, certain Yuan Ti, perhaps, that I don't necessarily think should stay living.
Are you telling the truth?
Yes.
She puts her hands down, pulls a book out, sets it down, and you see the book is worn on the pages and on the binding. It is an old green leather book that has seen lots of marrings and cuts and burns to it. She opens it up, and as she does, you hear that crinkling of an old binding open. The pages. You see names. You see clans. You see familiar lords and self-entitled kings of Yuan Ti written down in her book. As you get the quick glances for pages, she stops on long enough where she gets to the very end, where you see maybe about 3/4 of the way through is an empty page with only a few names marked on it. Do you have names?
I'm gonna put out my book of similar names. I'm not gonna show her the last page of the newest names, but there are names of not just Yuan Ti, but other people as well. But there are quite a few Yuan Ti names.
You point them out?
I point them out to her.
As you point them out, she starts going over the list. Well, you have 15 that I didn't know of. Lovely. And she starts writing down 15 names into her book. And in the column, running vertical to the rest of the text, she just writes your name down. Just in case.
I understand. We are not people to be trusted.
No.
Useful at times, though.
You are as test subjects. But I think I have an idea of a few ways to make this stronger. And something that you'll fail on resisting automatically.
I'm gonna point to the coffee. I'll be like, did you put anything else other than coffee in there?
Honey.
Not poisoned honey.
No.
I'm not gonna do an insight, and I'm just gonna drink the coffee.
Okay. It is coffee with honey. Simple.
Cool.
Simple. It is strong, though. There is that kind of like bitterness to it that really
wakes me up.
persists. Your tongue kind of unswells almost immediately as it kind of... Oh, yeah. There we go.
Wow. It's interesting to find someone that could very potentially be an enemy and an ally at the same exact time. Would I call you a rival of sorts, then?
No. You would call me a genocidal maniac would be the appropriate term.
And what sort of name does the genocidal maniac have?
Make a persuasion check.
Okay. That is a 25.
Ooh, 25. No. She looks at you and... Harper. Harper Nightshade.
I'm going to give her a little bow and be like, that's a lovely name. I'm going to remember that. Just as you remembered mine. And I'm going to visibly write her name on my book.
Is she writing? Are you writing it in the end of the book, where the other names are?
No, I'm going to fit it on another page. So that you can get the other page.
Okay. Alrighty. As you do, I need you also to go ahead and make a history check with advantage.
Where's my advantage D20? Wow. Really? Okay. That's a 12 and a 12.
Oof. As you write the name down, it kind of rings a bell, but not major. Maybe you heard it somewhere. Well, Nightshade is a poison, so maybe she's being plucky.
Well, this was an interesting experience, and if you ever make that thing stronger, I'm not going to be the one to test it, but I may try to find some test subjects for you. At the exchange of maybe having a vial of 2 of that for myself.
She just watches you. Maybe. Maybe not. We'll see who you bring me. What you bring me.
I kind of bow a little bit and turn to leave, and I was like, you never did tell me about that Kenku. He didn't make it, right? The Phoenix? Oh well. I rather liked him. And I'm just gonna walk back to the bridge.
Okay. As you walk back to the bridge, everyone is there. What would you all like to do? As Sazia returns.
I'm just monitoring the flashy things. And I have notes for what means what. Yeah, I do have notes. Good for me. Green good, red bad. Good notes. No, I have notes because I'm pretty sure that was it. Green good, red bad. But then weather. White to green is rain to snow, and then yellow and red is thunder and shit are my notes. So
Sounds about right. Sounds about right.
So yeah, as soon as I get to the bridge, I'll just look around at everybody. So what did I miss?
Well, we're trying to decide on a course of action. The ship that we brought down was brought down nearby, and we're the ones who are harassing Captain Taggart and his crew. At this point, we need to. Well, one of our options is locating, scouting, and possibly dealing with that crew.
I gave an awesome speech. It happens once in every few hundred years, so you missed it.
That's okay, Vimir.
It was brilliant.
I could picture it. I totally wholeheartedly believe you.
But the gist of it was deal with them now, not later, because stuff. I forget what the stuff was. It was really it was a great moment.
Oh,
Should
yeah.
have been
Law
here.
was super jealous of how well he talked.
Yeah.
That's.
He actually
I
did do
wish-
quite a good job, Sazia. I mean it sincerely.
Okay, that's great.
Someone insight check that guy.
But, well, the only thought
Oh,
that
Wall's
I had.
below me, right? On the stream.
Yeah.
Insight him. Insight that guy. He's above me on my screen, so it's awkward.
Yeah, no, for me too. But I completely believe him. I don't care. But I was just like, the only problem I would have had before was the fact that we might not have rations for enough people. But seeing as how so many people have died, and we didn't have to pick up 50.
Dude,
Oh.
we got extras.
Did you tell Captain Taggart that that's on his tab?
That's him.
For captain to captain, you need to go talk to him about that. I'm just saying, assert your dominance now, and take Law with you, because something tells me you're not really good at negotiating. And I watched this guy sell a bag of dirt,
We have.
or like
It was
one-
some nice.
It was a lot. It was a lot of those gold coins that you all like so
It
much.
was a fine grain. It was white sand from the most expensive sand mines of Hegan.
So,
Oh
Sand
no, I
mines of
lied
vegan.
through my teeth. I sold it as Sands of Time.
Yeah, he.
so I have a suggestion though about this current course of action.
Oh,
When we scout them, why don't we make sure that their guns don't work? As in, even if their guns do, sabotage them.
that's what I've been saying. Send the goblins in first.
Not necessarily the goblins.
Why not the
Do
goblins? I'm confused.
have- Because they're not going to listen correctly, and they're probably going to die before even getting there.
Yeah, that's the point. If we say, look, there's a ship down here with even better stuff, and they fly in to go scavenge it, and they go boom, then we know the guns work.
I'd rather not have to deal with all of the undead and 6 additional undead goblins as well.
I can kill 6 goblins in my sleep, whether they're skeletons, zombies, or just regular goblins.
Well, we'd want you awake, and there's more than 6 goblins to deal with.
But we won't be dealing with goblins if we get before we get there.
Well, we can't. We could only go and find them under the cover of night, and try to scout them as far as possible, far away from our ship. How far can a hog fly away from you, Fixer?
He can keep flying. I have a limit to how far away he is with the amount of control that I have.
How far can this see? And I poke
If
on
he
the-
goes farther than 100 feet from me, I have to give him directions ahead of time, or he'll just fly around, or possibly just come back to me. It's up to him at that
As
point.
you ask, Lycerius just turns around and holds her hand up, and there's a symbol that looks like this, and then there's a symbol that looks like this, but it has this going through it, right?
Yep.
Right? If you press the one that looks like this, it'll zoom you out, and you'll get about maybe 5-mile distance.
Law
I don't
will walk
see
over and
anything-
assist via mirror.
I don't see anything that looks like your hand.
Do you see a line that just goes in one direction?
Yes, there's lots of lines that go in one direction.
There's a button with a line that just goes in one direction. As you press it, the radar blinks out for a moment and then blinks back at a further distance, and now you can see a wider area. Wider
Oh!
local area.
Hey, what's on it, DM?
What's on it? You now, instead of about a 500 foot distance around the ship, you now see a mile around the ship.
Are there any additional green or red dots that weren't there previously?
There are no additional green or red dots, but now you have more of a topographical map of the radar. As it's furtherly zoomed out, you can see the mountain range and the fog that kind of covers the tips of the mountains, the forest, the wider array as well. You just keep hitting it. As you do, after about 3 more times, it zooms out and doesn't zoom out any further, and you have a 5-mile radial zoom outward of the map.
Do the dots get smaller?
They do.
Okay.
It's harder to pick up, but go ahead and make a... I'll have you do it anyways. Go ahead and make an intelligence check.
I'm sorry, you broke up for that last bit. What type of check?
An intelligence check.
So,
Vimir, what you doing over there?
Since I said Law was helping him, can he have advantage on that check?
Nope. This is...
I rolled a natural 20.
Oh my
Oh,
god!
nice. Yes.
Oh god!
So
Whoa.
it ended up at like a 14?
No, only intelligence is only -1, guys.
Yeah, no, he's good. He's at a 19.
Oh god, I was expecting a -1 to be told 0, and I was like, well, you're drooling.
The dots are too much.
With a natural
broke the
20, you have this bizarre moment realization that just hits you. As you kind of put it into terms you can understand. When you're at the base of the world tree, you can only see so much. The higher up you go, the greater your perception of the world around you, the further you can see. As you've reached the top, the world gets smaller and details become harder to see. But if there were armies, fleets, large number of enemies, you'd definitely be able to get a wider view and a better count of how many are coming up against you in terms of airships. This view definitely feels like it's designed to get a greater overview of a combat field, while maybe going a click in would give you a much better count of how many hostile ships would be coming in at you at a time. It definitely widens your perspective, and you remember seeing these different levels of perception as you climb into the top of the world tree.
So I want to play with the plus and minus button, kind of that's how I absorb that information.
Yep.
Do the dots go away at 5 miles out, or
The dots, so the goblin ship is not picked up anymore, as it is a small vessel and it is currently on the ground. You get the feeling like maybe it has turned off its engine. As you zoom in further, it's no longer being picked up on the radar. Zooming back out, you do manage to pick up a ship that crosses into the line for a moment and then disappears.
now can I Tony Stark this shit where I like pick a section and like zoom in specifically on that?
Not to that extent, no.
So like if I'm out 5 miles and I see this area and I go, I see something interesting over here, can I then zoom into that corner or that section?
Not
Or is
that
it
not
centered
that far
around-
out. It is centered around the ship, so you
Okay.
would have to move the ship there if you were to see something interesting. You are able to pick up a few from the 5 mile out distance. You are able to pick up a few what looks like maybe residences, some cabins out in the middle of the woods, some people living off the land and off the grid. You actually do within that 5 mile range. You do pick up a small town at the edge, going more northward towards the core lands.
So here's an idea. How? I'm gonna go and talk to like Sirius, and be like, how close can you fly in the mountain range?
Oh,
There is.
no, we get propelled if we're within a mile of that. It fucks with everything, we'll crash.
I know we'll crash. much, but something to make it a little bit harder for anything on the floor to see us approaching.
Well, I mean, are you talking about like to the south of us, towards the Hegan border? Or are you talking about towards the Corelands? It's two different directions. Taggart said southwest.
This town's gonna be eaten.
Southwest towards Hegan, yes.
So, I mean, I can get us pretty damn close to that mountain range, but we're a small boat, so I could do it. It's possible, without a doubt.
What do you think, A1? Do you think it's going to be close around that area? The mountain range where we knocked out that vessel?
I think, yeah. I think if we can get close enough just to check it out, but like we said, we don't want to get too close to where it messes up everything, as Lycirus said, and
Well, exactly.
Guys,
But
there's
in
a
that
town I
case-
found it that like they're gonna get eaten by the undead.
We have working cannons now, or at least one working cannon. Because we have a remainder of whatever is a gunnery crew from the Phoenix. We have access to that.
Speaking of which, my grandfather told me this fantastic story. He called it a song of fire and ice or something. Game of Thrones, I forget. There was a lot of books
Throne
to
of
it.
Games.
Dude, should we destroy these bodies so the mean undead people can't use them again? There's acid, right?
That's probably something that we could use, but we never picked any of the acid up, right?
Well, I don't think
You
we
know
should
what?
do that.
You
We
know
dump
what?
them into
I
the
think
acid.
I know someone that might be able to help us with that. Why don't we go and try to find the undead ship, and I will go and consult said person. I'll be right back.
I'm on radar duty, and I'm gonna zoom it into. I don't know what the different levels are.
You have 5 levels. Well, you have
So-
6. 6 is your local 500-foot area. 5 is your 5-mile radius.
All right, so I'm gonna go like in between where I can see a good amount
Mile.
out, I guess, around us. Yeah, mile to 3 miles.
Mile gives you the topographical. 500 feet
Okay.
gives you the direct, actual like radar blips.
Okay, so I'll go to the topographical map
Okay.
as we travel.
Okay.
All right. While
Go
he's
back to the
doing
menu.
that, I'm going to dismiss Hawk, then pull him out by me, give him the instruction to fly to the southwest 5 miles, and then return if he sees the ship.
Okay. Okay. That'll take. Actually, won't take long, unless he's doing a wide perimeter. What do you?
Is he doing circles?
Is he doing
I'm
circles?
gonna have him go straight to the southwest, for 5 miles, and then if he doesn't see it doing that, then zigzag back.
Okay.
About, I guess, around a mile wide.
Okay. Okay. Good to know. Good to know. Okay. Bamf, and then looking at the window and on the opposite side of the window, going bamf as he appears back outside. Heading off. Okay. Anyone else doing anything?
I'm going back to the medbay.
Okay.
I am continuing to work with my brand new cat.
That's right.
Oh,
You have a
that's
cat
right.
now. I forgot about that. All right.
Cat heap that you refused to buy to sell.
Yeah, refusing to sell magic cats, man. Alrighty.
Very close to being able to beguile him, suggest that, but
That was a close roll. That was a very close roll.
I will use luck. I will save 1 luck every day just for that, Sazia.
Oh shit. Okay. As
your luck may not save you all the time.
as you guys take the time and really kind of wait over the next hour as Hawk flies, go ahead and make a perception check for Hawk. Since you haven't given Lyciris a direction, she is holding the ship about 80 feet up. She has not moved it. It is hovering.
That is a 21.
21. Okay. With a 21, over the course of the next few hours, Hawk does maybe about a mile to 2 miles out as he reaches that 5-mile tip, does notice a bit more westwardly than southwestwardly, does notice a obelisk embedded into the ground with a wall being put around it. You, seeing as he has found it, he makes his way back. In those couple hours, Sazia, as you make your way back down to the medbay, Harper's still there. She seems to just be cleaning, brushing dust off.
Ms. Nightshade, I actually have a question to ask you before we embark on this new mission. How privy are you against the undead?
Well, if it's the ones we've been fighting, acid works best against them. But I'm out. So then you need to change to bludgeoning weapons. Anything that crushes them. Slashing is decent, but stray away from piercing objects. They tend to not be as effective when you're trying to pierce a bag of bones. However, if you're trying to pierce a zombie, you're usually pretty good.
So brings me to the question, if you ran out of acid, is there any way to procure more acid?
She gives a look around the medbay. Yeah. Not in here. No, I would need a laboratory and fresh ingredients.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
If you can find me a leather with interior lead-lined satchel, give me a week, and I can create a new alchemy satchel for myself, and I can produce you acid as needed.
We don't have a week, unfortunately, and by the time that happens, I'd probably be able to get you one of those alchemy satchels. If that's the case, do you know for sure if the acid will stop them from returning, or will they just spawn in your body?
It won't stop them from returning. No, that needs to be the removal of whoever's rising them, or the end of the Ivory King. No, it will ruin the bodies and prevent them from being able to re-enter a corpse due to the amount of damage done to it. If you splash acid on the skull, it pretty much guarantees they won't come back. You splash it on their legs, they'll still come back and they'll crawl at you. I've even tried melting away their arms, and it's actually quite funny. When you melt away the arms, they still come back, and they will run at you, and they will just bite at you. It's quite entertaining. However...
Headbangers, neat.
Yes. Though they don't like
just a
music.
flesh wound.
Actually, I have once melted both the legs and the arms off of one, and he still came back, and he did that scrunchy dance that the kids do nowadays.
The worm.
Oh, what is it called? It's the one where they pull their abdominals to their chest and hump the ground, if you would.
Yeah, that doesn't sound pleasing.
No, it's actually quite horrifying when they bite you doing it.
Oh, jeez. All right. Well, in any case, I just wanted to check up on the acid situation. Thank you
Fair enough.
very much.
You're very welcome. Care for another drink? I have other poisons to test.
Probably not today.
Hmm.
Actually, without killing me this time, would you happen to have something that would get me drunk? Project for another day.
Project for another day. Yes. I would try drinking engine gin, however.
Tried something like that. Didn't work the first time. Maybe it has to be a little bit stronger.
Probably needs less sugar. Or more. I'm not good with alcohol brewing. Poisons, acids, fire. More alchemical things that are actual alchemy. That's more my shtick.
You know, Harper, I think we're going to be fast friends until the day that one of us kills each other.
Indeed. I'll save you for last.
Sounds good. I'm gonna walk out.
Okay. Bizarre truce for the moment.
Yeah.
Alright. So, Hawk returns. Starts poking at the bridge window.
Before that, no, I'll do it later.
What? Do it now, do it now.
Alright, Fixer was just, during that time while he was waiting for Hawk to come back, he was just gonna go find Sid and,
Okay, go to find
hey.
Sid. Easy enough. You find Sid sitting actually in the forward gun. They already have all 3 barrels loaded in the main battery. The 2 goblins are sitting, one in the firing mechanism, the other in the cranking mechanism to turn. You see the Goliath stands by where the ammunition is, and the dwarf. Sid actually has a map in front of him that moves, is almost acting like a radar, but it's 3-dimensional. As you see, he is just checking its systems and pulls up a full image of the local area that actually grows into a full-blown 3-dimensional illusionary map with aim, with distance, elevation, wind, speed of the ship, speed of the hostile ship, and it is the most advanced piece of tech you've seen when it comes to this. And you go ahead and make an intelligence check for me.
21.
21? You have a moment where you are very, very, very surprised. A lot of the mechanisms in this airship have not been modernized, but the radar has for the gunnery teams. The gunnery teams is outdated. Everything here is very, very outdated. Most airships now rely on a single gunner on the bridge targeting the main cannons, and a secondary gunner targeting the secondary cannons. Maybe if the ship has other types of weaponry like flak to take out torpedoes, but this is outdated. But the rounds, as you give a look around, the rounds will definitely pack a punch.
All right. Well, I approached. Well, not approach, but like giving plenty of space. Sid, I take it.
Yeah.
Pardon the intrusion. Taggart told me that you were part of the engineering team on the Phoenix. I've kind of become responsible for the engines on the hand, but have no actual formal training. So when you're not busy with the gunnery, I would take it as a great favor to take some time to show me the ropes of the engine.
Favors are useful these days. Yeah,
That they are.
I'll help you. Yeah.
All right. Well, that's awesome. When you do have time and we're not about to possibly raid a Ivory King situation, then I would love to get your input.
Sure. I can do that.
All right.
He just kind of looks at you and he just watches you. There's a smile underneath his beard as he's just trying to like really figure you out or wait for you to say something stupid or do something. He seems just like he's waiting to see what you do.
Well, Fixer has 9 charisma, so he's not very good at being put together. So he just kind of awkwardly looks at him for a couple seconds and then, "Oh, Hawk!" and then turns around and runs away.
Okay. Letting the awkward silence kind of bubble and grow for a moment. Sid just kind of watches you, waits. Doesn't laugh. No one laughs. They just watch you and you run off. Door slams behind. Inside, as the camera stays on that group, Sid looks at them all and... Newbies. They'll get his feet wet soon. One of the goblins. We get his feet wet? Or we get him drunk? Which one is it?
Fixer votes drunk.
I don't know. If you get him wet enough... actually, if you get him drunk enough, he might piss himself, so he might be doubly wet. You have fun with this one. Camera pans. So, as the camera pans around the ship, Hawk returning. Hawk flying around the bridge now. Relays to you mentally the directions, or at least the directions as he flew back from where the tower was.
Would I be able to accurately point to that spot on the radar? Or Hawk be able to look at the topography?
Hawk would actually... If you were to have... Depending on how you instructed Hawk, the topography would be... that kind of translation would maybe be a little bit more difficult. But possibly could poke directions at Lycirus on which way to fly the ship.
Well, Lycirus,
Yeah?
how opposed would you be to Hawk sitting on your shoulder or on the chair behind your shoulder and kind of nudging you in the correct direction?
How hard?
I'm going to communicate with Hawk and ask him how hard he would have to.
Hawk just turns, slams his beak into the side of your head for a moment. It hurts.
It's like nothing.
Make a deception check.
Eight.
8. She turns around. How about he just, like, does his bird sound thingy? Just not loudly. I don't feel like getting poked in the side of the head. That one sounds like you rattled your brain.
Like flying outside, or
No, just
like
do
in
his,
front
like,
of you?
what is it hawks make for sounds? Is it like a... It's not like a chicken's bagak, right? It's more of like a...
It's more of a screech.
Yeah, can you do a soft screech?
By definition, I don't think you can screech softly.
Hawk,
Vimir
do you
will
want to
do
try
a
screeching softly?
Vimir will do a hawk screech.
As you do a hawk screech, Vimir, you hear that out of Vimir, and yeah, just like quieter though. Like,
Hawk, can you try that?
That was quiet. Oh, he's really good.
He is talented.
I see what you did there. Talons, talented.
I missed
that. Oh shit! I hit the zoom button. Oh.
Totally unintentional. Yeah, I totally meant to do that.
as
Totally believe you.
as Hawk kind of looks, she just looks back and great. If he can just like hawk once for left and hawk twice for right, that'd be fantastic.
All right, Hawk, you heard her.
Hawk gives you this mental missive in a way where it's like, I'm not a show pony.
I know, but this would really help us out, and I've let you stay in Hawk form for a very long time right now. It's not like when I made you be a cat for like a year and a half a couple years ago.
There's a glare, and he flies off, and Lycirus looks over, gives him a little scratch underneath the chin. Kind of fluffles his feathers a bit. Just... She starts steering the ship left. She starts moving the ship forward and stops for a moment. You feel the four engines begin to push, and then she immediately kicks it to stop. You all feel this lurch for a moment. She looks back and, sorry, Captain, we all good to go?
Captain's orders.
I say we head out.
Perfect.
So assertive as usual.
And Lycirus just guns it, and as she does, you see that she's about to crash into the wreck of the Phoenix, and as she does, she immediately pitches to the right and just at a steep angle. You all grab hold of something quickly, making sure you don't fall to your asses, as she then settles the ship back out and starts taking directions from Hawk. And it takes her about a half hour because she gets flustered for quite some time as to Hawk's directions, as you hear her at one point, well, fucking make up your mind. Is it to the right or to the left? But eventually gets you guys on track and starts making your way.
I will mentally let Hawk know that I will be getting him treats the next time we are in port.
Okay. So 5 miles is not that far to travel in an airship. So, you guys have about an hour and a half, maybe less. Is there anything you guys would like to do in that time?
Really slow.
The way that she's going to come into this is she's going to get within a mile, and then she's going to start banking around to get a view. So,
What can I pick up on the radar when we get within that mile?
Okay. Picking up on the radar, as you get into the mile range, you pick up on the topographical map at the edge as she starts circling around. There is a black tower with a small wall that is slowly being built up around it. The tower itself looks very reminiscent of the ship and is in fact embedded in a deep crater.
So as we go, I want to zoom in occasionally and observe each of the levels before zooming out all the way, just to see if there's a... And so what I've noticed, does the weather go away at the 5 miles?
Weather does, yeah.
Okay. So I just once in a while, probably every few minutes, as long as nothing changes on the screen, I'll zoom in and see if I pick up anything and then zoom out before going back to that mile radius. Because it's like climbing up and down the mother tree just really quickly with a push of a button.
Okay. As you start going from the further distance, you are able to pick up a bit more of the size when you hit the 3 mile, and when you hit the 2 miles. Sorry, as you hit the 3 mile, it gets smaller. 5 mile, it's a small splot on the map. As you zoom back in all the way to the 500 foot, go ahead and make a perception check.
All right. 16 plus 4.
16 plus 4. Okay, so for a total of 20. All right. As you are giving a keen look, you pick up 2 blips on the map. They are, compared to the ship, small, but there are 2 of them making their way in your direction.
Captain, we've been spotted. Tally ho.
Tally ho?
I don't know. I didn't spend that much time in the Wood Elven Marine Corps.
What would you like to do, Captain?
2
Hey,
ships coming southwest with a heading of 37 degrees by 40 degrees, followed by other radar stuff, and I start adjusting the little animal heads. Yep, that's confirmed.
Eowyn's gonna look towards Lysiris to just be, Lysiris, any way we can shake him? You think we can get...
She kind of... You see her from her position, she starts kind of like looking out, getting the directions from Viamir, and kind of making a rough understanding. She kind of leans forward in her cockpit and... Captain, might I suggest you give an order to man battle stations and get someone on the port side guns and get the gunnery team going?
Eowyn's just gonna kind of look at her like, oh man, this just got serious, and he's gonna just go to the intercom system and push the button, and just over it be like, ladies and gentlemen, we need everyone to man their battle stations. Looks like we've got some conflict up here.
Okay.
Number 1, red alert.
Alrighty.
Do we have battle stations?
You do have battle stations.
Got a cannon.
You have Viamir at the sensors. Viamir will be able to provide either a bonus to Lysiris, who is currently the pilot, as a steering check, or will be able to provide accuracy bonuses to all gunnery teams. That means the 4 cannon the port side machine gun team, and the starboard side machine gun team. At this moment, they are making for an impact on port side. There is a science / technical officers station as well, and the technical and science officers station will allow for the use of the ship's general repair systems, which sends out small micro drones to heal small points of damage to the ship. There is the gunnery position, where you are able to give orders to the gunnery team, allow them to priority target, and make the rolls for the gunnery team for their accuracy. And the gunnery station has 2 types of ammunition currently on board to choose from. You have your high explosive, and you have your armor piercing. High explosive deals fire damage. Armor piercing has an accuracy bonus of 4. So not only do you get the +8, but you get a +4 added on to that for a +12. Lastly is the captain's station. And Captain, you are able to provide combat boosts to the crew, as well as steering boosts and improvements to everyone around. There are other stations, though, that are available. They are currently inoperable at the moment. Engineering is one of them.
Well, I'm gonna do the man the machine gun like before.
Man one of the machine guns. All right. There is a full squad that makes their way down. All guns on the port side are manned. That is, I believe, 8 on the hand. Leaving the starboard side unmanned. And who is taking which station?
Engineering.
Well, the science, right?
So you'll be taking
Science.
TAC and science for now, since engineering is currently inoperable. TAC, you can also, with your abilities, you can also boost. You can boost the machine gunnery team, and you can boost the gunnery team and Lycirus as well for her maneuvers.
If Sazia is taking a machine gun, then I guess I'll do the gunnery since we don't have anyone there.
Okay. Alrighty. So how we're going to do this is I will have you guys all decide what it is you want to do, how it is you would like to improvise or improve and accurate, and what orders you want to give out. What buffs you want to give, tell me, and I will give you the roll to make, if possible. I'm still working on the airship fighting combat, sussing it out, but I'm going to go with our rough outline that I have right now for this. So, we'll start with Awen. Captain, what are your orders? What would you like to do? Would you like to inspire a member of the crew? Would you like to what exactly would you like to try and do?
I would say Awen's gonna try and inspire Lycirus as far as steering, trying to make sure that those that are armed at their stations have a clear shot. That way we're not facing the wrong direction when these things come up close.
Okay, so we're going to steady the ship? Or do you want evasive maneuvers?
I would say start with taking a steady position to
Okay.
line up the initial shots before...
Go ahead and add your wisdom modifier to a d20 roll with your proficiency.
Wisdom modifier plus proficiency.
Yep.
D20. That's big. That's a 23.
23. All right. So Lycirus, an attempt to get all gunnery teams to have a more accurate line of sight, does slow the ship down but provides the machine gun team and the gunnery team a +2 bonus to accuracy. So currently firing high explosive, the gunnery team has a +10 to their accuracy rating. We'll go with radar.
Looking at my radar screen. Oh, this one's coming in closer. These coordinates. And obviously I'll like ping it to the gunnery team or something. I don't know how.
Okay. All right. Go ahead and make a... I'd say go ahead and make a wisdom check with your proficiency.
Okay. That's 12 on the die, +2 for 14. My wisdom is +2 for 16.
Okay, so 16. The primary gunnery team, having a target now that is closer, will be able to tack on an extra 2 points of damage to that as well now, as they have a better shot now. Thank you very much for pointing that out. All right, Fixer.
Okay, so I am a little confused on how I am able to affect other people.
You can increase the ship's defenses. You could heal the ship if it had damage. You could do a number of things. Right now, what would you like to do? What would you like to at least? What sparks to your mind? What would you like to do as the attack officer?
I would like to strengthen defenses.
Okay. Go ahead and make an intelligence check with your with your proficiency modifier. As I forget words.
That would be a 10.
10. Okay. Not enough to get the shield systems on the ship to kick on and start activating. There is a slight hum and a spark as it flares. You see it gets all the way up to 90% and then flickers back down. The shield's empty. They're not able to pull a charge at the moment. You might be able to try it again. It's up to you if you so choose.
Right now?
On the next round.
Oh, okay.
On the next round. Finally comes up to our two gunnery teams. Sazia and Law. As you two take your stations, Sazia, you get a first glimpse as the machine gun port opens and you see these two humanoid creatures, and Law, you get an immediate response from the gunnery team. And you all hear this momentary thought that crosses everyone's minds as they see this. Oh, fuck. It's two chimeras. So...
Is that a type of ship, or are we talking...
Nope.
No ship.
Mythical
Nope.
creatures.
Beasts. As you see this, your eyes momentarily go wide, and the machine gun crew is being operated by you, Sazia. It is going to be a +8 to hit for the machine gun crew. And Law, would you like to also have them fire as well at the chimeras?
Yes. Can I use a bardic inspiration for the gunnery team?
As it is technically your role, not for your gunnery team. For Sazia's, you could.
I will absolutely inspire Sazia's gunnery team then.
Okay.
I have a perfect limerick for that.
Okay.
I once knew a Yuan-Ti named Sazia, whose bite will give you nausea. He can strike with a blade. If he speaks, you'll be swayed. And I think he has ties to the mob.
You aren't wrong. But really, I'd like that thing dead.
Okay.
Fire, please.
That'll be a D6 inspiration for you, Sazia.
D6 inspiration.
I like it.
All
I
right.
like it.
As the
Good.
port
Good stuff.
gunnery team takes your lead and all 8 machine guns open fire, you hear this resounding downfield and in open air as you watch as bullets arc out into the sky.
So I rolled a 6 on the inspiration, and I also rolled a natural 20 on my regular roll.
Wow.
There it is.
Well
Wait a minute.
then,
Them some dead motherfuckers.
what would normally be 8d6, you may go ahead and roll 16d6.
Ooh.
Oh my god.
I'm gonna go grab
You
a drink
crit
while you do
fireball.
all that math.
How many d6s do I have with? I have a couple of these. Oh, 8 actually.
I could roll 5 for you.
Yeah! There we go.
All right, I'm gonna count out my 16. 1, 2, 3,
That's a lot of bullets.
5,
So-
6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13,
That's
14, 15, 16.
that's
All right.
basically
What caliber bullets he?
it's
firing?
it's basically a bunch of 50 cals just lined up on the port
Oh
side
my.
and
Oh
the
my.
starboard side.
Okay, let's see how many ones I got. I got 2 ones.
Oh, only 2. It's really good.
2.
And at the end of
How
that
many
you're
sixes do I
and
have?
at the end of that you're adding a +6.
4, 5, 6. I am gonna pull out my. I have 6 6s, and 1, 2, 3, 4 5s.
Jesus.
You
That's
can
a lot.
contact the devil twice.
I'm gonna- actually
36
just go-
plus 20.
So that's 56.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's 56 there, and then there's 60, 64, 67, 71 points of damage.
Ooh.
Oh wait, 71
Jesus
plus
Christ.
6, right?
71 plus
71
6.
plus 6, so
77.
77.
That was my football number.
7 points of damage as this machine gun fire just streaks across the sky. The Chimera falters and is going to make that warrants a concentration check.
Yeah, it
I
might
would
not
hope
even have
so.
wings left.
It's not even going to be able to succeed that because it would need a natural 20, which it does not get. It gets a 15, and the Chimera drops as one of its wings just gets shredded completely, and it is falling. You guys are about a mile off ground. It's dead. I'm not even gonna roll that.
It's dead.
I'm not even gonna roll that.
But I had a finger like pointed to fire at the Chimera. Saw what happened. I was gonna turn around and be like,
Yeah.
just give it a
That's
thumbs up.
with you also holding one of the guns and firing down as its body and its wings just completely get destroyed and shredded up. That is going to bring us to one Chimera down, impacting heavily into the ground. It is gone and dead. That brings us to Law.
Got some.
Fires the
All right,
cannons.
so I have high explosive and I have armor piercing.
You have high explosive currently loaded.
Okay, so that's plus 10 then, plus 8 plus the extra plus 2.
It is 8. You have 8 plus 4 plus 2 currently. I'm sorry, you have 8 plus 4 plus 2 to your damage roll.
So that's gonna be a 23.
23 makes contact as the main battery turns and fires what is effectively a siege weapon at a chimera. So we're going to see how much damage you do. As all 3 shells you watch arc through the sky, and you track it going to the one in the rear, and
You said it was 3d12?
3d12, indeed. Plus,
+4.
plus 4, so you have a plus 6.
Well, not nearly as impressive as the machine gun team. It's still a 23.
Still 23. It actually is quite impressive, as you are firing effectively siege weapons at a bestial creature. It is going to double that damage to a very nice 46 points of damage. And it is also going to make a concentration check to see if it can even stay up flying. That is a natural 1.
It is falling.
As the shots from the main battery impact and slam, engulfing the chimera in a blast of flame, an explosion, there is nothing left, as it is just... You don't even catch it falling. Viamir, on radar, from the 500 foot distance view, if you zoom out, you will watch as it... The secondary
It's
impact.
broken. It went away. Where'd they go?
This is-
Oh, wait. There. Oh. Okay.
I have like a radio, right? Like one of those radios that connect
do.
to them. I'll just press it and be like, got him. Both of them.
Got him.
As they
Guys,
say in
mythical
as they say in the
beasts are
core.
bitches.
As they say in the
Shit.
core, 1 shot, 1 kill, or in this case, a lot of fucking machine guns and artillery into things.
In an airship, a chimera, even a gunboat, a chimera is a bitch. Well done. Well fucking done. As they go down, there is a moment of quiet. Do you call for all hands to stand down, or are you keeping all hands at battle station for the moment?
He's gonna look to Viamir and just be like, "You've got anything else on the radar, Viamir?"
Make a perception check with advantage.
All right, and I'm gonna go out to the 1 mile. Oh, thank God for advantage, because that's 4. And okay, so not great, but a better 11 on the die plus 4, 15.
Okay. There is... The tower registers a heat signature.
Captain, the tower is
And...
turning redder as we speak.
And... You detect, on the radar, a small object heading your way.
And there's something else coming our way, because
And, unfortunately,
it's moving really quick. Oh no! Ah!
because you guys were holding in a more accurate firing position,
We
the
slowed down.
torpedoes, you guys slowed down, the torpedoes are going to have advantage to hit. Comes to... Okay. Okay.
And just so everyone knows that when I brace for impact, I just flex my abs and use my core strength. That's it.
Impressive. Impressive. I like it.
Can't do it in real life. Might as well do it in D&D.
As you do, the torpedo, as Viamir calls out to the entire ship, brace for impact. Sazia, you see out of the porthole a small object rocketing towards, and it looks like it's going to hit just either above or just slam right into the port side gunnery doors. What are you going to do?
I'm going to try to shoot at it.
Okay. Go ahead and make a sleight of hand check. We'll see if you can.
How close is it to how?
It's
how...
about to impact.
we have computers that still fail at this now. Just throwing it out there.
Oh yeah, no, of course, of course.
Gonna be a sleight of hand check
Think
first
chicken.
to see if you can get your reaction time fast enough for the entire gunnery team to open up.
But we
I
don't
wasn't
have natural
expecting that.
20s.
I wasn't expecting
Never will.
the gunnery team to do it. I was just on reflex to do it for myself. That's a 21 for me.
21. All right. The whole gunnery team readies and on your command starts opening up. Fire. Go ahead and make an attack roll. No bonuses. It is a straight D6 to attempt to hit.
D6.
Yep. You had the bonus +2 for accuracy from prior rolls. So it is a
D20 plus 6. that's what
D20
we-
plus 6.
D20 plus 6. Okay.
Yep.
If you didn't use
Oh,
Auto tune.
Oh.
I had a nitro 19.
Natural
So it's
19.
25.
25. Okay. Go ahead and roll 8d6 worth of damage.
Three.
As you are
A lot
just
of ones.
you are
That's a lot
just
of
out of the range of its actual able to hit you firing distance at this
24
mile
points of
on
damage.
24 points of damage. That is very, very depressing. This is very depressing. 1 point away from actually blowing it up in air.
Oh man.
did I say 4? I meant 41.
Yeah.
As you fire for 24 points of damage, you put holes into it, and you watch as it actually does adjust the trajectory, and it kind of begins to lilt more towards the fore of the ship. Still port side, but it's more going this lilt at a downward angle and heading towards the fore section of the ship. As it impacts, the ship is going to take...
Oh man, all those ones.
We one-shot 2 Camaras, so...
10,
Yeah, that's true.
10, 28, 43? Yeah, 43.
You sound confused. I'm pretty sure you mean 20.
40. The ship takes 43 points of necrotic damage as
Do
the
we know how much HP our ship has?
torpedo. You're about to find out.
Yeah.
You're about to find out. As the torpedo impacts into the fore section of the hand, this black, smoky tendril mass erupts outward and engulfs the fore section of the ship. In the bridge, you all see as this mass wraps around you and almost pulls the ship down. Lycera struggles to keep the ship stable. She needs to make her own con save. Just barely makes it. Just barely makes it. And manages to hold the ship steady, but the ship has dropped. You guys are maybe about halfway to the ground. You took a heavy hit and just plummeted a good half distance to the ground, a good half mile. As you start careening down, Lycera is not even waiting for orders. Lycera immediately spins in the opposite direction and begins disengaging. Do you call for her to stop, or do you call for her to head into combat? Awen.
Awen's going to just be he's going to call out to her and just be like, head towards the, or just, direct towards the enemy.
Make an intimidation check. As you
We're playing chicken, yes!
as you tell her to turn the ship around and head towards combat.
You said,
Guys, I
which
think
one?
they have guns still.
Yes.
Intimidation, 16.
Oof.
Oh.
Motherfucker, Lycirus, that's when you roll a nat 1. Bitch. Lycirus, there is a slight... fuck! As she begins turning the ship, she cuts a hard turn. Sazia, at this point, you see you are no longer going to have a shot at the tower as the ship is going nose in towards the tower. Do you want to close the port side?
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah.
Closing the port gunnery side. The ship starts gunning it forward, and Lycirus just begins flipping switches at the terminal, and she is going to use her move action on this round. And she is going to full speed ahead, which she fucking succeeds at. Lycirus is now just pushing the ship at its maximum speed. Fixer, you get an alert on the tactical screen that the ship is at 1/3 its health after that hit.
That is not good.
It's not good at all. You guys took a heavy hit. At this moment, as the ship is now making its way forward through an intimidating order by Captain Awen.
He was intimidating.
Yeah,
Good job, Captain.
to the girl. Yeah.
Awen, we've taken a lot of damage.
It was intimidating.
Too late. We're going in. Oh, 5 minutes.
At this round, what would everyone like to do? As Awen and Lycirus have made their turns, it is now Fixer, Viamir, and Law.
I want to focus on the radar to see any more of the smaller blips that preceded the explosion that I felt, and then flex through.
Okay.
To be able to relay those coordinates to Lycira and the captain quickly and accurately.
All right. So to provide some bonuses to evasive maneuvers. Okay.
Yes.
Go ahead and make a perception check with your perception check.
Hey, he's too excited at the prospect of getting into combat. 7.
You are so focused on the fact that you can get into a melee with somebody at this moment as the ship begins rocketing towards you. You're distracted. You're not able to focus. Who wants to go next?
I can go next.
Okay.
I'm going to start by using my bonus action to inspire Fixer.
Okay.
I once knew a wizard named Fixer, who went for hard A with no mixer. He makes engines run and drinking more fun, and hopes Sazia won't hold his lip.
Okay,
I
excellent.
approve of this message.
Excellent. Okay.
And then I will order the gunnery team to fire on the tower.
Okay. Go ahead and make a standard roll.
We don't have flak shot.
Not flak yet. You guys don't have a lot of guns on this ship.
You know, to distract the torpedoes. I learned that in the Wood Elven Marine Corps as well.
22.
22. All right. That will make contact with the tower. You may go ahead, and as the tower was once a ship, is now being turned into a non-mobile firing platform, intimidating death tower. It's counting as a building, so your weapons will deal double damage as it is now a siege.
3d12 plus 2, right?
3d12 plus 2 and double.
Big money, big money, big money. No
44.
lemons.
44 points of
Boom.
damage. That is actually over its damage threshold by 2. Go ahead and roll a d10.
D10.
Yep.
5.
5. Okay. As they hit, you see one explosion as one of its cannons actually blasts off and falls to the ground. Go ahead and roll another d10. If you roll a 5, please re-roll.
4.
That was actually pretty good then. With the second explosion in secondary rupture through the tower, you watch as the glowing runes and lights around it flicker and as the tower has lost all power. As the ship is now rocketing towards the hand, full steam ahead towards this tower, its defenses down, its automated weaponry down. Fixer, what do you want to do? You can repair the ship. You can increase its armor class for 1d4 rounds by 2. What do you want to do?
Do I know how much healing I'm able to provide on like a rough?
Looking to send out the drones to attempt to heal. You start flipping through the systems on the airship, and you find that the airship can heal itself for a fair amount. You are able to restore 4d10 hit points, no extra modifier, just 4d10 per round, as long as your drones and your drone systems are not damaged.
And the power is out on the obelisk.
On the obsidian on the tower.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's gonna be a heal.
Okay. Choosing to send out the automated drones to repair systems and repair the ship. Go ahead and roll 4d10.
Not fantastic. 16.
16. Okay. Okay. Healing up for 16. You see that little ship's stability bar tick just a little bit more on this round. Comes to the tower's round. They're going to attempt and do some repairs. They do not repair the ship's power system, the tower's power system, as you guys are now halfway there. What are your orders, Captain?
Awen's gonna instruct Lycirus to get in close so that the weaponry can get a clear shot at any remaining portions of the tower. Keep their power down. Focus maybe some of the gunnery, but get us in close.
Okay, giving the order to drop the port side guns down again, or the port side machine gun bay open. All right, giving the order. Lycirus immediately in a hard hairpin turn is going to try and swing the ship. She succeeds. As she swings the ship to allow port side, the gunnery crew begins swinging the main cannons down and aiming down towards the entire bay. The machine gun port opens back up. Excuse me. And out below, you see that there are undead lining the ground, all getting ready to raise weapons. There does appear to be a few anti-air emplacements that are slowly coming to life on the ground. Sazia, for you to see. The rest of you, Fixer, would you like to continue healing the ship?
Would I be able to, instead of do overall shields, like focus shields on half the ship?
harder DC, but you could, yes.
Do it. Timid men
I
don't
would like
make
to
history.
attempt that.
All right.
Yeah.
Go ahead and make an intelligence check plus your proficiency modifier.
That's
I
not
didn't
good.
get it. It's another 10.
Another 10.
You have inspiration.
I do have inspiration.
What is
You
your
have a D6.
D6? Okay.
That brings it up to 15.
Not enough, unfortunately. You needed a 16 for that.
Oh. Ugh. The story of the ones. I'm gonna aim at the anti-air.
Alrighty.
Gunnery.
Aiming the whole gunnery team. Go ahead and make your roll.
Do I still have?
You're making the full roll. You have a +6 to your D20 roll.
All right.
Am I still on my...
You are still on your radar. What would you like to search for, if anything? Or would you like to increase accuracy on someone by pulling into a closer area? Is there something... What would you like to do there? What would you like to attempt with your radar system?
Oh. The me in me says increase evasion, but the Viamir in me says
Fuck them.
blow them up!
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna pinpoint a few targets as I'm looking down a few blips and send them to our gunnery teams.
Okay. Picking off
Or
a few...
attempt to, at least.
Picking up a few blips. Go ahead and make a perception check.
That's not great. 7 + 4. That should be 11.
11. There are two targets that stand out to you. There is an anti-air battery, and there is an anti-air. There's an. You know what? No, I'm going to say there's an artillery cannon that catches your fancy, as well.
I pressed them on the screen.
All right, Sazia, you have two. You have in your view for the first time. You catch something interesting, as the targets are a little bit closer now. You see, almost as if an illusionary projection dials in around your eye and focuses your attention towards an artillery battery and an artillery cannon and an AA battery. The artillery cannon is slowly trying to make its way, aiming towards the ship. The AA battery is already looking like it's going to be firing at you. You have one attack roll. Which one would you like to shoot at?
I'm gonna take the artillery out.
Take the
Let's
artillery
have
out.
the artillery.
Okay. Go ahead and make your attack roll. You have a bonus of 2, so you have a +8 to your accuracy roll.
Okay, so that's gonna be a 22 then.
22 hits. Go ahead and roll your
Glad
8d6.
some of us are rolling well. High
At
five
least.
over here, Fixer. We're on like opposite ends. I think if I go down here.
On my
No.
screen, you guys are
You
right
gotta-
next to each other. So.
No,
Oh, really?
I'm looking.
Yeah, no, on my screen you're next to each other too. It's really funny.
For me, you got to do it on the other side.
I think on
On
stream,
the side.
if I just go over here, it looks like we're both off frame
Off right.
and
Off
doing
frame,
high fives.
high-fiving. There we go.
I swear to God, Didi, I swear to God, if you tell me that this damn thing has 30 HP, I'm gonna be very mad because it's 29 damage. I swear to God.
It's have 30 HP.
God damn it!
I'll see you guys later.
Let's go get that.
So,
Wait.
Get that
Hold
character
on.
ready.
Pause. I do have a plus to my attack, right? Or like to the damage.
Yeah. Have you not been adding it?
I did not add it this time.
Oh man, you guys shouldn't have even taken that missile hit then. If you didn't add it, it's a +6. You have a +6 to damage. Oh well, you have a +6. The artillery
Yeah,
battery.
I have a +6. I have a +6 to this particular shot because it's Vimir. Because Vimir told me about that.
The
He
artillery.
didn't tell me about the torpedo.
The artillery battery
Didn't tell you
is destroyed as a hail of machine gun fire rains down on it. You take out the bodies and you hit the ammunition depot that sits around it, and just as the cannon is wiped away. Nicely done.
Oh man, I was about to be very mad.
It's like, man, that +6, man. That's not helping you. Yeah, you have a +6. You have a +6 to aim and a +6 to damage.
I'm gonna write that down right the fuck now.
Yep. And that number will change based on the crew members that you hire in the future. So for future knowledge. And I will have a stat block system generated based on money you wish to put forward for hiring crew.
What about intimidation and chain gangs?
You could be a criminal.
You have me and Law. You
could-
have all the persuasion and intimidation you need.
You could be a ship that uses criminal crew. There are ships out there that do that.
Just Shanghai other ships. You're part of our crew.
Law comes to you in the main battery.
So the only target that I can hit with the main battery is the tower, right?
Accurately, yeah.
Yeah, let's just keep taking that fucker down then.
Okay.
That's a natural 20.
So
Send it.
Siege. So go ahead and roll. For ease, go ahead and roll 6d12 and then double that. Jesus Christ.
By the way, do I know enough about necromancy that if we were managed to kill the crazy lady in a barrage of ammo, would the necromancy as a whole drop?
As a wizard, not that familiar with necromancy. Go ahead and make an intelligence check. How much damage did we do there, Law?
80.
Damn! Let's go. Let's go.
As a secondary volley comes out of the primary cannon, it impacts with the tower, and you hear the sound of grinding metal. I need you to go ahead and roll a d10 3 times.
19.
1, 2, 3.
10, 3, and 3.
Okay. 3s will stack. The 3s are its engines. The engines detonate and explode. The 10, however, hits the bridge, which at the point was relocated more towards the center of the ship. Impressive. As you do, there is a massive gout of flame that impacts into the tower, and a hole has been torn through it. As it begins to teeter, you hear the sound of grinding metal as the tower begins to fall and collapse down. It is not able to hold up its structural integrity as the tower, what was once this ship, begins to fall towards. I'll roll a d6.
Is it going down like Barad-dûr style?
D3. As it falls, you see it begins to tilt forward and land on a small pocket of 3 AA batteries and 2 artillery cannons. And as it does it, engulfing the area in flame. Impressive. It is the AA battery that is underneath Sazia at the moment. Turn to go. Its gun jams. Is it rolled a 2? And it does not fire, as there might be shards of bone inside key joints that prevent it from firing. As the systems jam and it clogs and it struggles to unleash hell upon you. You're in a good position now. However, the last turn does come to our witch.
With
Well,
that
see-
19, did I think of anything? Or
A 19. She, depending on how her specific form of necromancy works, it may or may not. You remember hearing, though, that there is a bone pile that needs to be destroyed if you are to actually cease the undead from coming back. You're unaware if you have hit that or not, judging by the destruction that has just occurred. But the ship
while
does get
we're all
hit.
doing this,
Go ahead.
while we're all doing this, can I send Hawk out just to see if he can find it, since he's not doing anything else?
Certainly.
Still get caught in the crossfire.
He'll be mad, but I'll bring him back in an hour and 10 minutes.
Sending Hawk out, there's a moment where he watches from above as the ship sails around in a wide circle, keeping its view on the tower. No guns fire back at you all for a moment. It's a long, tense 15 seconds. And a series of chains fly out and impact into the ship. They do hit, and they do begin pulling the ship down to the earth. As it does, Lycirus begins to panic. As she does unfortunately fail her resolve check. As you look in the center of the tower, there are these massive hooked chains that have attached and begin to pull down towards the tower and towards the ground as a whole. Sazia, you see this from the machine gun port, and the chains are not small. They are roughly the size of a car in diameter. So you see the chain links are the size of a car, and they just hook around, and there are about 4 of them now embedded into the ship, and they're pulling.
It's
you
coming like straight out from the tower,
Mm-hmm.
and the
Can I see
tower
her?
was
You
tipping,
cannot see her. She is covered in smoke if she's in there.
and
So the
it's
tower
coming
has
from the
fallen.
command center.
Yep. The tower is here. The chains are grabbing you out from there. The tower is smoking, and you are being pulled in. I'll make
Aowen's going to
the gunnery
try
team
and-
is panicking.
Aowen's gonna try and persuade Lycirus to essentially use the moment, not like hurryingly, but just try to wrap the chains around the tower, almost thinking like you would do, Star Wars it, wrapping
Okay,
around
so
the
you
legs
want
of
her you want her to drop elevation and attempt to
Yeah.
wrap it around the base of the tower.
Yeah, essentially using if it causes any slack, to use that to
Okay.
wrap around the tower. And
Make a oh boy. Make a persuasion check, as she is currently panicked, as she no longer has complete control over the ship.
that is an 18 on the die, so a 19 total.
Okay.
Persuasion. Yeah, persuasion.
She hears you, and begins to attempt the maneuver.
Natural 1. It's on the floor. That's always a natural 1.
Natural 3.
Damn, I was close. Prophetic.
As she starts to attempt the maneuver, the ship rocks. And I need Sazia. I need you to go ahead and for you and the entire gunnery team on the port side, you feel yourselves get lurched outward towards the gap. I need you all to go ahead. I need you to go ahead and make a acrobatics check.
Okay.
To try and hold on to this thing with a bit of acrobatics, as you are already now listing lazily to the left. 23. You and the entire gunnery team manage to hold on. You swing your bodies, and as you do, you swing yourselves back up and reposition yourselves in hopes that you won't fall again.
As that's happening, feeling the movement, kind of like a centripetal movement, sort of, knowing that it might probably work better if we had less chains on us. Can I have the gunnery, or can I try to make an intimidation check on the gunnery team and have them try to break the links?
They are not panicking. So they will attempt to fire off into the chain. Go ahead.
Sounds good. If they are not panicking, I will have them shoot. 19.
19. That is not enough to hit and do any damage to these chains. They are thick steel chains that seem to just be pulling. The bullets just bouncing. Ding, 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 ding. As you start getting pulled in closer and closer to the tower, the smoke slowly begins to clear, and you see before you, Sazia, before you have an opportunity to decide whether or not you close that hole in the side of the ship as it could currently be viewed as, you see this witch, slightly bloodied and harried, looking very, very angry, as she has out of her arm stretched these 4 chains that have erupted and wrapped around the ship. Do you want to close that hatch or leave it open?
I'm going to leave it open.
I will need you then to make...
But I'm not... I'm gonna leave it open. Tell the gunnery team it's probably not gonna be fast enough, but to tell them to fire into the smoke, as I am going to actually leave.
I am going to need you to make a charisma saving throw.
Got it. Dude, if I fail a charisma saving throw, I'm gonna be really sad.
So, DD, as the chains
I
wrap
might have
around
failed a
us,
charisma saving throw.
as they wrap around us, and we start doing this weird spiral descent into
Yeah, you guys are being pulled
chaos.
in.
I just want to grab my double-bladed scimitar. I get out. I leave my station, and I just want to kind of assess if there's a spot I can get on the chains and use them as a bridge to get to whoever's doing this.
You would have to get outside, as they are in a non-user-friendly position.
But that's what I'd be doing.
You would have to bust open the bridge window.
What about the loading bay? I mean, I'm pretty stupid, but not that stupid.
The loading bay... No, the chains are all technically like mid-ship, where there's no real entryway to get out onto them. You could try and scour through the ship if you wanted, to try and find one of the holes and see if it's maybe large enough for you to slip out. But at this point, as you're looking, the ship is about to be pulled and basically be force docked right into the tower.
If there's nothing by the rear entrance, he'd just be like,
Captain, get everyone here. This is not going to end well. And then he smiles.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sazia, what was your save on the 18? Okay. You save, as does the gunnery team. And as you do, you feel all of your acrobatics checks are now going to be made at disadvantage. As you feel this unnatural tick in your blood every time you try to move with the swiftness. So all your dexterity-based checks are now hexed.
With that happening, I would choose to close the door.
Okay. As you... And you feel... You might have a little trouble trying to sneak up on this one. As the last thing you see, she just bends down, puts her hands into the tower, and you watch the chains merge into the tower and lock themselves in. At this point, as you all have done some fucking substantial amounts of damage, and taken out quite a large number of this horde, have suffered a tremendous amount of damage to the ship. You are now docked with this tower, what was once this Ivory King's ship. And on the other side of your vessel, port side, in the center of this tower, is the witch. And she does not seem happy.
You broke up. I'm pretty sure you said she looks really happy.
She looks pissed. And with that is where we're going to end tonight's episode.
Welcoming us with open chains.
With open chains, and we will
Some
pick
people like that. So
and we will
I'm
pick
not-
this up next week.
Man.
Open chains and open hexes, I swear to God.
Holy shit. See you next week, guys. Oof. Is it Tuesday yet? Bye now.
Not